Hello, my friends. I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table, and we are looking at Unbound, Mechwrrior 1656 supplement by Blaine Pardoe and Mike Neistel, produced by FASA. So this would have been a ready-to-run adventure module of sorts for the Mechwrrior franchise. The clan invasion left their successor states struggling to recover from the war that devastated the forces of the Inner Sphere. The Federated Commonwealth took heavy losses, and misfortune was compounded by the untimely death of Hanse Davion. The Alliance is in a precarious position. New Avalon Institute of Science has been charged with to find a technological edge which House Davion may regain its lost power. Study of clan technology sent research in bold new directions and led to an extraordinary breakthrough in BattleTechnology. Unfortunately, the Federated Commonwealth's salvation is in the hands of a madman. All right. So, Bound is a role-playing adventure set in the BattleTech universe of 3053 on the game world of Solaris 7. Player characters will become involved in the struggle for control of radical new technology that could change the balance of power in the Inner Sphere. The adventure also includes several new mechs and a selection of new tech from one of New Avalon's top research and development teams. This book was $8. $8 when I got it. Yeah, brand new back in the day when it was published, right? Yeah, $8. Let's set on the tag too. And this was published in 1991. So we got our introduction. 53 has been a transition for the Inner Sphere, blah, blah, blah. How to use this book, the story so far, emerging success. Research contains information the players may uncover, story so far. Professor Burt Kale was a respected scientist who has been the affiliate of the New Avalon Institute of Science for many years. Groundbreaking work with advanced neurohelmet design earned him the post of senior project developer for the NASA's. The research he headed as a senior developer was the foundation for the improved battle mech cockpit and control system, now used extensively by the Federated Commonwealth. In 43, Professor Kale proposed a revolutionary interface system that would do away with neurohelmets completely, providing a direct neural link between, jack in. He's going to jack you straight into the system, and all the possible ups and downs that would have. And we now know the clans have a similar version of it. I believe in their case they highly tattooed themselves, smoke jaguars and the Jade Falcons. Some of their warriors believed that this was the best way to get personal finest, the very fine line, fine control and connectivity with their machinery was to just physically, in some ways, meld to, and of course from that evolved a secondary technology, the protomechs and stuff. So in this case, this would be the Inner Sphere's version of figuring out a way to basically jack into the damn machine. So that has some issues, right? So it's called Virtual Reality Piloting Pod. This technology would also reduce the space required by a traditional cockpit and move the cockpit out of the mech's head. The center torso section was proposed as the best alternate cockpit location. As a revised proposal offered fewer of the risks and more of the benefits, Professor Kale's DNI system second pro. So basically, there's the downside with this stuff is that any kind of biofeedback, and it happens in your neural helmet, can screw your head up, can screw you up, can kill you. So that you have yourself even more intimately linked with that hardware creates the possibility of a biofeedback that can fry your brain and kill you on the spot, or more likely over time affect your personality and your mental stasis, your mental state. And the question was morally, is this going to become something that's not morally acceptable? So anyway, we got the situation. Charactermen hired to investigate deadly sins stable by infiltrating the organization, finding out where they can from the inside. This episode consists of 3 events. Take the characters from the first contact with stable, their first battle under the deadly sins banner. So this is how the guy from NASA basically got shut down. because of the potential physical danger and mental danger to the experimenting subjects. And experimenting on people, whether they volunteer or not, is dubious at best, and has some legality issues, especially in the Federated Commonwealth. Maybe not so much in the Draconis Combine or the Compelling Confederation, but it's still there. And so instead of giving up on his brainchild, he packs up and takes the technology and steals it, basically, and runs off to Solar 7, and then figures out he's got to find some way to A, test the technology, and B, generate the finances needed to keep researching his technology. This is where he goes into play. And I believe he purposely, he's still a member of NASA's, but NASA's is like shut the door on him. There's some questions in there. You have to really go into it. I read this. It's been a couple months since I read the book, so I'm probably going off on it a little here. So anyway, making contact. We got some various crowd scene characters, NPCs, the Mech Bunny, the Sycophant, the wannabe Mechwrrior. Then we got complications of bar fight, proving grounds, complication enemy action, safe agent. So we get a House Merrick agent here getting wind of all this stuff, or trying to uncover what's going on with this new staple and this new string of sudden wins, and using some unknown technology. Side job, the 7 Deadly Sins, Unbound, the Rise and Fall. So the new situation is a new member of the Deadly Sins stable. The characters are well on their way fulfilling their contract with the Solaris government. They are also inextricably involved in the stable's many trials and tribulations. The episode deals with problems of the Deadly Sins. Through them, the player characters face. The group will deal with the challenge by the Dark Knight's cooperative, betrayal by and the subsequent murder of their stable master, and the arrival of the NASA's Crisis Intervention Team. So we got a challenge match that you got to fight out, complications of mob power. In this optional encounter, a character scheduled to fight in a match against the Dark Knights will receive an invitation for himself and friends from a fan to meet for dinner at the Pelican to discuss a business proposition. Invitation specific is exact time. Basically, they're asking you to throw the match so they can make a lot of money. So we got Showdown, complicated ambush. Safe agents have been trailing the Deadly Sins for days. Game Master decided whether one or more of the agents may are present when the incident at the direct occurs. Safe receives orders to capture one of the original Sins, and we'll see this encounter as a perfect opportunity to grab one of your stable's members. Intercession. Player characters turn to stable, you reactivate the lights, and everyone gets a collected gas of surprise. The converted warehouse that serves your stable is reverted back to a warehouse. All the battle mechs and equipment are gone. Their place are several dust-covered crates that look like they had been there undisturbed for months. The living quarters are stripped as gear as well and have been turned to their original condition, right down to the cobwebs in the corners. Yeah, isn't that surprising? Now we got send stable map. Unbound power play. The situation. The final episode deals with the showdown between the Deadly Sins and Professor K. Player characters set up a rematch between the Sins and the Renegade, but by the end of the match they realize they have been tricked. Kale hired Mechwrrior to fight for him in the VRPP controlled Prometheus. During the rematch, the professor returns to his lab to test the Mephius, thereby stretching his already precarious sanity to the breaking point. Out of control, he goes on a rampage, can only end with the characters with the help of the Deadly Sins and their stolen gear. So, Prometheus Unchanged, Rampage, Complication Betrayed, In-game, Loose Ends, Warding adventure points, recruitment, Kale on the loose, nosy reporters. I got some background on some various individuals. Professor Kale, Dark Knights Cooperative, NASA's organization, bases and research facilities. Other NPC characters that be encounter as part of your group, part of their group, part of the foes, locations, the Pelican, the stable, the pit, new technology, control systems, general glitch, direct neural interface, or DNI. The concept behind DNI is simply to create a link between the man and machine. Normally, a neural helmet reads the neurological impulses to the region of the Mechwrrier's brain and controls motor functions. Right? And then we got virtual reality piloting pod. So basically, remote piloting your machine. And some of this technology, keep in mind, for those of you who don't know, that FASA also produced a very popular game system called Shadowrun, something that Catalyst Game Labs also has franchise ties to and rights to create and produce material for. And a lot of jacking in technology, neural interface technology, is a staple within Shadowrun. So the technology concept from a game perspective, from a game development perspective, is very well researched, very well developed. And every now and then, there seems to be this crossover from BattleTech, from Shadowrun into BattleTech. And I rarely see it the opposite, because there's not a whole lot in BattleTech that would translate over into Shadowrun. It just doesn't really work out that way. But every now and then we'll see some of the technological stuff bleed over in from the other direction, which is fine. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just kind of the way that kind of stuff plays out. But I never had the opportunity to run this. I never had a game group that at this point in time, I did not have a group that was interested in Mechwrrior generally as a role-playing game, and so we never explored it. Just bought it because it was the next product to come out, and hey, it was only $8, so it wasn't really, this would be like $20 today in today's money standards by the way things go. So if you get your hands on a version of this, and I suspect you can probably find them, wouldn't surprise me, and you like the Mechwrrior, this is an interesting thing. And there's some good material in there of reading. There's a little bit of stuff in there that you can at least get a vision of some of the quirky stuff that's going on. I can also, I honestly can say that I see some ties that later down the road, when the clans are introduced, or during the clan era, when new supplement material comes out, there's other material that kind of branches off and goes into some, I don't know, kind of no-go zones in some aspects, and in part, this is all interconnected a little bit, just a little bit. Anyway, going on, my friends, this is Rick, and hey, if you like the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, tell anybody else that's in the gaming industry or gaming fandom that says, hey, this is a channel worth checking out, right? Till next time.